Whoa. Okay. So, Jennifer, do you mind sharing with us what your job title is and
Yeah,
what all that entails?
absolutely. So I am a bilingual staff attorney at a nonprofit organization. We serve Milwaukee County and Waukesha County. And let's see what that all entails. I practice at the moment family law. So it's primarily a lot of divorces, relocation, custody and placement issues. I also am a guardian ad litem. So that's a whole thing in itself. If the two parents don't agree on like decision making or like the placement arrangement where the child is staying, then the court appoints a specific attorney to conduct an investigation and make a recommendation. And that's a whole nother thing because they don't necessarily need to listen to it. Sometimes they'll adopt your recommendation exactly how you give it. Sometimes they say, "Oh no, I'm going to do this instead." So that's really interesting. But that's what we do. We have like a specific type of person that we try to help. It's more like underprivileged members of society, people that can't afford to hire a private attorney, survivors of domestic abuse. That's a big like demographic that we're trying to reach. Almost all of my clients are non-English speakers, so people that have barriers that prevent them from accessing justice in another way.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay. Well, I'm glad you do that. um, so what education, what experience do you credit for getting to where you are today?
Yeah. Yeah, well, to me, like to do it like the straight way, to be an attorney, it's a lot of school because you do, of course, you're required elementary school and high school, and then you go and you get your bachelor's degree, and then you go to law school. Some people go and get their master's, but that's not needed. I did not get a master's degree. I did not go straight to law school from getting my bachelor's. I wouldn't recommend it. Law school is unlike any experience I've ever had. People say things are difficult, but you have to imagine we're all a bunch of nerds. I mean, we all love to read, or, love the law, and it's difficult. You're looking at like people that love school, and it's a challenge. So that's something to consider. There's like this running joke where people will say, "Oh, what advice do you have for someone that wants to go to law school?" And then the attorney will say, "Oh, my advice is don't go to law school, haha." And it's like, that's really not funny. Like, it's too late now, but I wouldn't say that. It's not that dramatic. It's just you have to love learning. You have to love to read. It's so much reading. So you're looking at like, what, 21 years total? And then, yeah, you can go in with, I want to say, no experience, like a brand new baby attorney, but it's really helpful to do some sort of pro bono work as a student. I did that. That was like my strategy. I wanted to make it known to everyone what I wanted to do. So networking is really important, but getting those skills like being able to listen to clients, being able to identify issues, and just being able to talk to people and make them feel comfortable around you is a great experience to have going into work as an attorney.
Awesome. And then what was the job interview experience like for your position?
The one I'm at now, I had a fantastic experience. Pretty much everyone at my job were all around the same age. So it was very different because they were more like cognizant of, I want to say, like work-life balance and things that would interest like someone my age to want to take that role. It was really just a different experience from what I had had in the past. It was refreshing. So I interviewed with our executive director, and then I interviewed, I want to say, was it a second one with the supervisor as well? I think the first was just to like learn more about the position, and then I had an interview with the executive director and the supervisor, and then I had like a little session with the other people that work there to see if they liked me. I mean, that's really what it is, right? It's to see if they wanted to work with me. And then they threw in our administrator to make sure I spoke Spanish, which made me laugh because like I knew that was going to happen, especially when people see me. They're like, okay, let's make sure she really speaks Spanish. But So I just sat there like on Zoom telling her about my plans, like, oh, I have this plan, like to go to Mexico on vacation and I'm gonna go here and there and like oh, poor thing just had to sit and listen to me talk for like however long. But yes, I passed.
That's awesome. For my job, when I interviewed, it was with Zoom, and my head was cut off, and so was my boss's. We like couldn't see each other. But the connection, like we had a good conversation, and I got the job. But
Oh my gosh, have you ever seen Home Improvement?
yes. Oh yeah.
Remember with Wilson?
It was the opposite. It was like this.
Your interview.
Okay, so I got 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
What is something that you wish you would have known, or a piece of advice that you would give to someone pursuing becoming an attorney?
This is the answer that I always give people when they ask is play to your strengths. Because again, like I said, thinking of law school, you've got a whole bunch of, I mean, really, like a whole bunch of nerds together, myself included. Everyone's used to being the top of their class. Everyone's used to getting an A, and it's graded on a curve. So it's just not possible for everyone to get an A. Some people have to fall at the bottom of the curve. So that can be your strategy if someone is looking to work at a big firm. They want to make a lot of money. They want to be at the top of their class. Give it your all. Or find where your strengths are. And me, as much as I love school, I never cared much about grades. I'm not saying they were bad, but they weren't, I wouldn't say anything to write home about because I just don't care. I already had a family. That was the most important thing to me. It was already enough time that I was dedicating, and I thought, okay, what am I best at? And that's connecting with people. So like I said, I made it known, like, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. How can I help? How can I get involved? And it's, it's not what you know, it's who you know, in my opinion. And that's worked out well for me. But playing to those strengths, finding where you stand out, what makes you different, and leaning into that. You don't all need to do the same thing. Like if you come in there with that mindset, like this is what it is to be an attorney, this is what's important, it could work out for you, or you could just be finding yourself really frustrated in the end.
No, it's great advice. And I can think of, like, what you just said really applies to, like, pageantry, too, right? Like,
I'm glad we get to talk about pageants.
So, okay, that kind of segues into my next question is, I'm doing these interviews, like, your job is very demanding. And I'm curious what you do to kind of create a work-life balance. And I know you are also Mrs. Milwaukee County. So how do you juggle all your hats that you wear?
Yeah, it just makes me think, especially as women, we have a lot on our plate. Having a family, my mom always says, like, oh, the brunt of that work falls to the woman typically. And I'm like, well, it doesn't need to be that way, but it really is. There's a lot of societal expectations that we do it all, and it can be exhausting. So to me, it was important to find a job that I genuinely enjoy. Like, I love being an attorney. I love helping people. If I was doing something else, I'd probably be miserable. And the best piece of advice I can give is to advocate for yourself. Or is it advocate? Someone drew my attention to that, but I mispronounced that you advocate for yourself. Advocate. I think I said it correctly, but whatever. The two. Sometimes, like, knowing 2 languages backfires and I say something wrong, like when I shouldn't. And then you second guess everything, whatever. You stand up for yourself. I had a previous job where I had 0 work-life balance, and I made the decision to leave, and it wasn't because I necessarily didn't enjoy doing the work, but I have a family, and they come first, and there's no amount of money on earth I could be paid to not spend time with my family. Like, that's why they exist. I kind of want to hang out with them, like, I had kids so I can spend time with them, not so that I can take them to daycare and then never see them. Yeah, that's not always an option for some people.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so one more thing. November is your pageant, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna come watch you and cheer.
It's in Milwaukee, so like I am so excited. It's like right down. It's not far at all.
Oh, that's That's really nice.
Yeah.
Because I went last year and it was, I actually am going to a wedding where it was last year next
Yeah.
month.
Well,
So,
that'd be fun. That like the area is
yeah,
gorgeous. It's a
that's,
really nice venue at the Asta.
yeah, but Milwaukee, that's gonna be great. Like, and that's really
Yeah.
cool, how close. What weekend is it? When?
It I think the second weekend of November, I
Oh, it's
want to say.
cool.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Well, I'm excited to watch you on stage.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, for your time, and I hope your migraine goes away very quickly.